You're 18, helping your uncle haul a 140-pound condenser out of a hot truck at 7 a.m. 2 decades later, a man named Alan Sielbeck sells the same kind of business. 12 trade shops bolted together for $300 million. Between those two moments sits a $158 billion industry, a 700-degree refrigerant cap, and roughly 425,000 techs holding the wrench. This is every level of HVAC in America and what it actually costs to climb. If you like breakdowns of how careers actually progress, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The helper. You make $18.81 an hour, and your job is to not break anything before lunch. The truck is loaded by 6:30. You're at the Johnstone Supply counter at 6:45, watching the lead sign for line set, 2 cans of nitrogen, and a 45x5 capacitor. The condenser comes off the liftgate first, 140 pounds of Goodman, painted white, stenciled with a model number you can't read yet. You drop your end on the gravel. The lead doesn't say anything. He just looks. The attic is 130 degrees by 9 a.m. You hand up flex duct, you hand down a foil-wrapped boot, and you sweat through your second shirt. Then the lead asks for the 7/16 nut driver, and you hand him the 1/4 inch, and he hands it back without a word and waits. You learn the magic wand pair before you learn anyone's last name. Around noon, you step off a truss into drywall, and your boot punches through the kitchen ceiling below. The homeowner is standing under it. You stop counting the hours. The Klein NCVT3 rides on your hip. Non-contact voltage, the only meter you're allowed to touch. The lead lets you hold the nitrogen tank while he braises the suction line, and you watch the flame change color. By Friday, you've found a copperhead curled on top of a contactor and Gulfport, and you've eaten lunch in the truck 4 times. The lead says you'll get an EPA card in a year if you don't quit. Most do. Ready for Level 2? Level 2. The Junior Tech. The card comes in the mail, laminated, 4 boxes checked. Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, Universal. You make $59,810 a year now, and you have your own truck. The truck has $3,000 of stock rolling on it. Capacitors, contactors, fuses, a torch kit, and 1 spare blower motor, and you are responsible for every part of it. The first solo no-cool comes in at 11 a.m. in July. The dispatcher reads the address twice. You pull up to a single story in Tampa, the homeowner meets you in the driveway, and the air handler is already off. You check the disconnect. You check the contactor, pitted but holding. You pull the panel, and the 45x5 dual-run capacitor is swollen at the top like a soda can left in a freezer. The Fieldpieces man 460 goes on the service ports. Suction 118 psi, superheat 10, liquid 415, subcool 12. And the readings tell you the system is fine. The cap is the only thing wrong. You write the flat rate ticket, $287, 10 minutes of work, a part that costs $8 at Johnstone. The customer signs. The system blows cold in 90 seconds. You run 6 more calls that day. On the 4th, the evap coil is solid white, blowing snow the lead used to call it, and you walk the homeowner through why the airflow died before the refrigerant did. The journeyman from Level 1 trains you that fall on recovery. You set the Appion G5 twin on the truck floor, pull the vapor down, and weigh the cylinder before and after. You start parking around the corner from your buddy's place, because the truck is a billboard now. By December, you've recovered 40 pounds of R-22 from a system older than you are. The reclaimer pays $60 a pound. You don't see the check. The owner does. Level 3 is where you stop being a parts changer. Level 3. The Senior Tech. You make $77,200, and you wear a Nate patch embroidered oval heat pump service on your left sleeve. The truck is bigger now. A Vito Pro Pack sits behind the driver's seat. The Turbotorch X4B rides in a milk crate, and the Testo 320 combustion analyzer lives in a hard case under the passenger floor. You run the calls the junior techs can't close. The job that defines the level is a full system changeout on a 2,400 square foot ranch in Ocala. You run a manual J and writes off the night before. Total cooling 31,450 BTU per hour, and the existing 5-ton is oversized by a full ton. You call the homeowner. You tell her she's been short cycling for 15 years and that's why the upstairs never feels right. She listens. Install day. You sweat the line set in 95-degree heat, flowing nitrogen at 2 SCFH while you braze, because oxide scale inside the copper kills compressors 3 years out. You pull the system into a triple evacuation. The Fieldpiece's VG3 reads 486 microns, holds, and you weigh the charge in by the gram. The Testo goes on the furnace flue. Oxygen 8.4, carbon monoxide 23, efficiency 84.2. The journeyman, now your equal, signs off the commissioning sheet without looking. Then the call comes in at 4 p.m. Compressor acid burnout on a job. Another tech installed last summer. The line set is contaminated end to end. You cut into the suction line, and the oil that comes out is black, with a sour smell that sticks in your nose for 2 days. The whole system has to come out. The dryer you spec is oversized by 2 stages. The flush takes 6 hours. You don't go home until 11. You don't call your mother back. The owner runs the warranty claim through the distributor and tells you on Monday that the install was billed at flat rate, and the callback eats the entire margin. You learn what a callback actually costs. You also learn that the guy who sold the original system is still selling them, and the customer is still calling you. The owner offers to make you a foreman. You ask what the foreman make. He says, more, but not enough. Level 4 starts the night you do the math on his truck. Level 4. The owner-operator. You quit on a Tuesday. By Friday, the vinyl shop has stenciled your last name across the door of a used Transit, first name, last name, heating and air, license number underneath in smaller type. You finance the truck at 9% and floor $6,000 of stock on a credit card. Take home in a good year runs $50,000 to $120,000. In year 1, you net $38,000. The phone rings at 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. You pull your own permits. A green mechanical card stapled to the disconnect, signed by you on every install. You bookkeep at the kitchen table after the kids go down. You learn the words mechanics lien the hard way when a general contractor in Lakeland sits on an $11,000 invoice for 90 days and then stops returning calls. You file the lien yourself. You get paid in 14 days. The journeyman from level 1 calls in October. He's been laid off and asks if you have a truck. You don't yet. You back into your own garage door at 9 p.m. in November, dented it straight down the middle, and you don't fix it for 3 months because the truck is a write-off and the door isn't. 70% of new HVAC contractors fail in year 1. You make it to year 2 by selling changeouts at $8,000 apiece, Carrier 1.6 SEER, Goodman 1.4 SEER for the rentals, and by holding margin on every capacitor. The customers come from Google reviews and the woman who owns the diner you eat breakfast at. You stop saving the pay stubs. By year 3 you have 1 helper, a second truck, and a sticker book of 90 maintenance agreements at $200 a year. You realize, sitting at the kitchen table at midnight, that the agreements are the only thing on your balance sheet that has a buyer. Level 5 is the year you start hiring people you can't afford to lose. Level 5. The multi-truck owner. 12 trucks, $4.2 million in revenue. Total comp between $300,000 and $1 million. The shop is in a flex space off a frontage road. Service Titan runs on 3 monitors against the back wall. Green tickets, red tickets, the dispatch board the techs see on their tablets in the field. A Carrier factory authorized dealer plaque hangs in the showroom by the front door. You hold 540 maintenance agreements now, billed quarterly, and they pay your rent before the first install of the month closes. The journeyman from level 1 runs your install crews. You see him at the morning meeting, you sign his bonus check on Friday, and you don't ride trucks anymore unless something is on fire. First-year tech turnover runs 18 to 22%. You lose 2 helpers every quarter and you are always recruiting. The summer of the supply crisis, your Carrier representative calls on a Tuesday in July to tell you the allocation is sold through. July 8th. You have 120 condensers on the books and 31 in the warehouse. You buy 60 Goodman units off a competitor in Mobile at cost plus 8%, and you finish the season. The 5 a.m. alarm doesn't wake you anymore. You wake before it. In January, you fly to the AHR Expo in Orlando. 3 days, 2 evenings of dinners with your distributor reps, and 1 breakfast with a man in a Navy suit who hands you a card that says Apex Service Partners. He asks what your trailing 12 months of earnings look like. You tell him. He says premium platforms in your market are trading at 13 to 18 times. You do the math at the airport. Level 6 is the meeting you take in March. Level 6. The exit. In February of the year 2000, a man named Alan R. Sielbeck, who started at a single Nashville HVAC shop called Donaldson Air Conditioning, who rolled up 11 other founders into a company called Service Experts, who took it public on NASDAQ in 1996 at $13 a share, sells the whole thing to Lennox International for $300 million. 12 contractors, 4 years from IPO to exit. Your own number is smaller. Redwood Services writes an average single-shop check of about $1 million. The bigger platforms, Apex with its $3.4 billion continuation, ServiceLogic financed at $3.1 billion, are buying multi-truck shops at 6 to 8 times. You sign a letter of intent in May. Diligence runs 90 days. The buyer wants the maintenance agreement list, the Service Titan database, and the truck door brand for a transition period. They don't want your accounts payable, your truck loans, or the dent in the garage door. Closing happens on a Thursday in a conference room in Atlanta. The wire hits at 2 p.m. You stay on as the regional general manager. The journeyman, now your operations lead, gets a retention bonus. Most exits in this trade are succession-driven, not glory. The average owner is 60 and tired. You are 47 and tired. Level 7 starts on the Monday after the wire clears. Level 7. The branded GM. The platform keeps your name on the trucks for 18 months. You ride along on the legacy customers. The diner owner, the woman who recommended you to her sister in 2009, and you wear the same uniform as the install crew, with a different patch. The dispatch board still runs Service Titan. The pricing is now set in Atlanta. Earnout is paid in 2 tranches, year 1 and year 2, against earnings targets you helped write. You hit year 1. You miss year 2 by 6 points because the platform raised prices 9% and a third of the maintenance agreements didn't renew. The branded vinyl gets scraped off the trucks in the spring. The new wrap is gray, with a logo no customer in your market recognizes. The journeyman takes a job with a competitor across town. You don't blame him. You sign your last time card as a regional GM 31 months after the wire. The non-compete runs 3 more years. You drive home in a leased SUV and put a Klein CVT3 on the passenger seat, because some habits don't leave. The truck door stencil is in your garage. You scraped it off yourself the week before the new wrap went on, with a heat gun and a plastic putty knife. The same heat gun you used at 22 to shrink wire splices in attics. Your last name, the license number, the year you started. All of it on a single curling sheet of vinyl, leaning against the wall behind a 140-pound condenser you keep for parts. You're 4'9". Your operations lead works for a company you can't name for 2 more years. The platform that bought you was bought last quarter by a larger platform. The one that bought Sielbeck 36,000 condensers ago has been carved up and sold 3 times since. Production of R-22 ended in 2020. Production of R-410A ended on the 1st of January 2025. The refrigerant you'll spend the rest of your career recovering is the one you charged systems with for 20 years. The man who signed your acquisition was 34 and had never crawled an attic. The 5 a.m. alarm is set out of habit. You wake before it. The journeyman calls in August. His new company is hiring, and he wants to know if you'd ride along on a few legacy customers, off the books, for old times. You say yes before he finishes the sentence.